Welcome to Find the Humor with your hosts, Matt Miner and Connor O'Leary.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast. This is
Find the Humor.
Find the Humor.
Find it.
And the way this podcast works is we're just a bunch of aspiring comedians trying to put some humor into the world, and we have a lot of bad ideas. And today we're going to be discussing those and finding out.
Particularly Connor. Connor has a lot of bad ideas.
I've like for every 100 ideas I have, I've got one that's like malleable enough to turn into something good, I guess. But I think a lot of people have that same experience, and so that's why we're making this podcast to kind of document that creative process for different people. Matt, want to introduce yourself?
I am Matt. I am also someone who likes jokes, and we are here today with Dane Alexander.
Can I talk?
Yeah,
No.
you can talk now.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay. Hey, what's up? I'm Dane Alexander. I'm also in a comedy group with these two guys. We do improv comedy. I don't know if you guys have already talked probably about that. So we do improv stuff, do a little bit of stand-up when I can. I usually do an open mic and then bomb and then don't do it for a couple months.
Yeah.
So, but I try.
We are all deeply insecure.
Yeah, so oh no, it's justifiable. It's very like it's just not good. And but yeah, no, I enjoy comedy. I love comedy. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and yeah, I'm gonna start listening to your guys' podcast.
Yeah, I was
We're gonna
actually
start
talking
listening to your guys' podcast.
Yeah. Mutual
Dane,
support.
what's your podcast called?
My podcast is called the Great Dane Podcast. Yeah, I know. I was like, if I'm gonna go into it, I'm gonna be as egotistical as possible and say how great I am. Because if there's one thing you should do for an audience is to say, "Hey guys, what you're about to hear is gonna be fucking awesome," and then they go, "No, I want to see." It's never the case. If you ever walk on and show you and tell the audience that they don't fucking know anything, and you're like, watch this is hilarious. If you ever say it's funny, it's never funny.
Unless you're Dave Chappelle.
Unless you're Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. He's got that thing. He's like, I'm good at jokes.
Yeah.
I'll write a
Is my thing
punchline
off
and then
again?
I'll write the joke to it. But anyway, yeah, I was
talk
talking
about
to a girl the other day, just in class, and she was like, "So like, what do you do?" And I was like, "I do comedy." And I was just talking about like the couple times that I've done stand up, and I was just talking about how, because she brought up Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and I was like, "Yeah, but the only, in that show, if she goes up and bombs, she gets upset when she walks off stage. She's like, nobody laughed at my jokes. What's wrong with them? I'm funny." Whereas I feel like in reality, it's more like, oh, they hate me. And I feel like, I don't know, that's my
I
experience.
feel like, I feel like back then, women weren't expected to be funny, which honestly could have been a power. If she bombed, they're
That's
like,
fair.
"That's what we expected," and she's like, "That's what I was going for." I'm an unfunny woman. Good woman joke.
Good. Got it started right off the bat.
What has it been? 30 seconds, and I'm unfun. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Great Dane Podcast. You
Great
can
Dane.
listen to it every week. If you're a sexist bastard.
That's what you talk
This
about,
is just
right?
a taste of what you'll be getting on the Great Dane Podcast.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into some jokes.
Yeah, I was the other day. I this isn't really a joke. This is more something that I want to turn into a joke.
right.
But like, so the other day I was in class and somebody in front of me like sneezed, and I said "bless you," and they turned around and said that was a cough, and I was like,
That's
what?
happened to me, but-
What the fuck? Like, just let me bless you, okay? Like, if you're sick, like. Why are you mad? You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
say it
who's
too
gonna
much.
deny some blessings? You know.
I don't risk it. So when people cough, I go, "Bless you," and they freak out. And they're like, I do it on purpose now because I hate guessing if it's a cough or a sneeze. So it's sometimes they're like, it's like I don't know what the fuck that was.
I mean, I think it's
Dude, I learned from my uncle though that this is my favorite thing is if you're in the bathroom, somebody's on the toilet. I remember I was like 12 at the time. In the bathroom with my uncle, it was a big bathroom. It's fine, and so there were other people. It's not weird. It's not weird. It's the weird story. And so there was somebody in the stall, and the dude just was like, And then my uncle was like, Gesundheit. And then the guy was like, thank you. And so anytime someone farts in the bathroom, it's like, bless you. They're like, and people won't respond the first time because they're like, he didn't just bless my fart. There's no way.
I mean,
No,
that's so
he
funny.
didn't.
Because like it's a weird tradition blessing somebody when they sneeze. Like there are far worse things that your body does that I feel like warrant, somebody intervening and saying, "Hey, bless you," because sneezing is pretty regular. Like hiccups are terrifying because it's like you're
but imagine if you
drowning
had to
on
bless
air.
someone every time someone hiccuped.
But I feel like they're just as frequent.
Bless you.
Well, okay,
Bless
no,
you.
every time somebody gets the
Bless you.
hiccups,
I like when
bless
people
them.
apologize when they sneeze because it's like, I'm so sorry. It's like what was I gonna be like? Bitch, stop! Like,
Have you ever?
No. My favorite is when
That's rude.
when you do something, people are like, was that a cough or a sneeze? And you're like, does it matter? Like, just bless me anyway.
Bless you is less syllables than asking.
Did you ever have your grandparents teach you something like, I know that's wrong? I remember one time my grandpa, I sneezed into my arm because that's what I was taught in kindergarten. You go, achoo, you sneeze in your arm. He goes, why would you sneeze into your arm? You're sneezing on your shirt. He goes, sneeze not onto your clothes, sneeze into your hands. He told me to sneeze into my hands.
Yes.
And I was like, I know that's wrong.
Sneezing and racism.
I've only sneezed into a tissue or a napkin once or twice in my life because I don't feel it coming. It kind of just comes out of me, and I feel like you don't need it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's
but
mostly out of your mouth than it is your
no.
nose.
Here's the thing, though. Some people do need it because my
You're not supposed to
sister.
close your mouth when you sneeze.
Yeah, no, you're not supposed to hold in sneezes at all. But my sister has really bad
Bless you.
my sister has really bad nasal issues, and so she has mucus buildup all the time. So every single time she sneezes, a shit ton of snot just shoots out of her nose.
God.
And when she's
Jeez.
Brain
sick,
fluid.
no, this is the funny part. So when she's sick, she will sneeze and then it'll just dangle.
Oh my god.
It'll dangle and then she'll sniff it back up.
No, get rid of that.
No, but it's just a habit. So, but the thing is,
bad habit.
Because she knows what's coming.
exactly. So she's just like, I don't want this to happen. But so one time we were at my sister's friend's apartment and we were all playing this weird ass video game. And so she was so sick at the time. I feel so bad looking back that we actually dragged her somewhere because we were we want to go visit people even though you have a fever. And she sneezed and then she did it. And the guy whose apartment we were at just goes, oh, cool party trick. and now he solely refers to her as the party trick sister.
That's a pretty cool nickname. It's really cryptic. It could mean anything. But then when you find out what it's about,
it
it's
could mean
not
orgy
cool.
party or snot nose.
It's your sister.
I'm gonna make a parallel between two bodily sensations. The first is holding in a sneeze. Have you ever done it?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say
pluck my-
if you haven't done it, I'll
nose.
explain it like this. It's like this sensation in your nose, cutting off your pee stream, but in your nose.
It's harder.
No, I would say it's way harder than cutting off your pee stream.
Have you ever cut off your pee stream?
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
a
that bad.
fucking man.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I did it and it hurt, and I never did it
you
again.
Just flex your abs
That's a
really
weak
hard,
goal.
and then
You've only
no.
had one time in your life where you've had to stop peeing.
I don't.
you've never been peeing on a girl,
Dude,
and she's like, "No, stop."
No, have you been outside?
Tell me every scenario that you've been
Dude,
in.
I've probably had to stop mid pee 100 times.
Can you give me one scenario?
Because I pee in
I can't
weird
imagine.
Because I'm I
any
gotta pee and I'm
situation.
outside and it's oh fuck,
That's what the
somebody's
boy.
walking by.
They teach you that in the Boy Scouts.
Okay, but
Suck
I
it
think
in.
it's weirder to stop peeing and then just freeze and look at them as they pass and then continue under a reasonable distance.
No, dude, I'd
away.
rather have an uncomfortable bladder than be a fucking registered sex offender.
That's
Because-
not a.
Dude, you can't pee outside. You will be.
Why not?
because your dick is out.
Well, you
I'd
can't
explain
in
this to
in
my
a
dad.
city,
I'd
but you
explain
can
this
if
to my-
you're in the woods or
Oh,
just behind
yeah,
a.
you can pee in the woods. That's
yeah,
fine.
but Dane pees in the city.
Okay.
If you have to pee, what am I gonna hold my pee? That should be I don't know. I feel like you should be allowed to pee. In France, you can pee. You'd be driving on the highway and there's be a Frenchman with his cock out,
No,
just
I.
pissing away in the wind.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like you should
a
be
little
able to
baguette.
pee
Out
into
the
a
window.
gutter. Why can't you do that?
Because that's how the bubonic plague started.
What? I don't. Wait, they didn't have sewer systems. Find the humor. Find it.
No, I don't know. Yeah, no, there's plenty of times where I've held my pee. You know, it's just there's just moments. Or maybe I'll be like, I'll have the door open when I'm peeing, and it's like, oh fuck, the roommate is home, and then I'll have to like, and then shut the door and then continue.
Oh, that's a dangerous game.
It is dangerous.
Hovering over not the toilet.
I want you to know I do half the time still piss on the
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's right.
I clean it, you know, with napkins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Connor, what joke? Give us one.
A joke. I don't really think I have anything in regards to sneezes.
No. Just any joke, Connor. Just
give
hit
us
us
a
up
joke,
with one.
Connor. Come
Give
on.
us your best.
You can't say
Give
you're
us a
out.
joke.
This is you're fucked if you're out. 'Cause what is this, podcast 3?
This is podcast 2.
Podcast 2. Except we might release it in different order. So this is podcast. Fuck you. We'll decide.
This is podcast.
Yeah, we don't want to release our best one first, but we also don't want the first one to be the worst. So maybe second will be our worst one. So if this ends up going poorly, this will probably be second. Here's a joke.
Set up.
I wrote this. I didn't date it, but somewhere in the middle of my.
When did you write it? What was going on in your life?
Yes. We want to know everything about the context of this joke.
This was over the summer.
Please, every single detail.
I had encountered a baby. And I don't see babies a whole lot, but my mom for some reason...
You make this sound so ominous. I encountered a baby.
For some reason, my mom has stayed like really close with my babysitter from my youth, and she's like 35 now, and she just had a baby.
Oh, was it your mom's?
My mom's baby? Yes, I met my baby sister. No, it was
How close
my
are
old...
your mom and your babysitter? I feel like this is what I looked up last night.
Oh my god,
Porn.
they're not
Connor's
not
mom
close,
and
just to the
babysitter.
point where like they still interact.
She just had a baby, so
Oh, gross.
that's what I'm
Continue.
saying. Is it Connor's mom's baby with the babysitter?
I mean, I have no way. Wait, probably not.
Prego, my ego.
Anyway, I met this baby over the summer, and I was just thinking, and I wrote this down.
What's the baby's name? Out it, the baby. The baby's gonna listen to this in 10
It
years
was
and be like, "Why did you help me?"
Hazel or
That's
something.
my
like
cat's
that.
name.
Hazel?
Yeah.
Did they just look at her eyes and be like, "Yep, that's it"?
Hazel. I love it when. Oh, that reminds me of something. But go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
This is how
Connor's been
conversation
talking
works.
for like 10 minutes.
No, he hasn't. No, so I just love names that are like not like
Names?
human names. They're just like freaking like a color or like or an appearance, a color, or like, you know, like I met a girl named Mercedes. That was like one of the jokes
That's a
I was trying to
name.
do. It's a fucking stupid
It's a
name.
common name.
Of
No,
course, it's a
it's
really
not.
commonly stupid name.
Yeah, you can have a common name and a stupid
There's a lot
name.
of dumb
Okay,
names.
that's fair, like
No,
Matt.
literally-
Any
What-
girl named Mercedes out there, you have a stupid name and your parents are not creative.
Dane
because
does not speak for the podcast.
Yes, he
or
does.
Our views.
here at what's your guys' podcast name?
Find the humor.
What's your podcast called?
Find the humor.
What was it called?
Find the humor.
Okay,
Find it.
listen. Any name that's named after a fucking appliance or a color or just fucking my son's name Lincoln
Okay.
Log, that's not a fucking
But there
name.
are some
What if I wanted to
names-
name my kid Toyota? You'd be like, that's child abuse.
There are some names
This
that
is my
are
daughter
like,
KitchenAid. She was born to cook.
This is my daughter Whisk.
okay, but there are
Egg
some
whisk.
products or just like things
Piping
out there
tube.
that I think would be beautiful names.
Some
For
eyes
instance,
are brown.
my go-to.
My child's name is Brown.
My go-to is
My brown shirt.
Grenadine. I think Grenadine is a beautiful name
If you're
for
on
a
stage
baby
with
girl.
your fucking pussy spread, you can be named Grenadine. Coming up next on stage with her twin, Shirley Temple.
Like a lot of people say, like chlamydia would be
And Sherry.
a pretty name. You know, otherwise
Chlamydia?
chlamydia. Like that sounds like a pretty name.
I feel like that'd be a Cleopatra's sister.
Um,
My slightly more syphilis sister, Chlamydia.
Yeah, what if you just had a whole family? This is gonorrhea. This is syphilis. This is herpes.
And
And
Mercedes.
chlamydia. And
Mercedes is the dirtiest of. If you have to be really just a dirty human to be named Mercedes. I'm speaking for the podcast.
we told Dane to say this. We have a piece of paper in front of him.
There's a gun to my head.
No, okay, so literally,
What
like,
is the podcast called?
it's called Find the Humor.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just being a fucking dick. You kept going, find the humor. I'm like, what is the podcast? Okay, I like that name. That's a good name.
Okay, but so one time I was literally so I used to be a camp counselor, and I the whole families would come, and literally, so these weird millennial adults are getting to choose their child's names now, and it's awful because literally I was like, introduce me to your 3 kids, and there was 2 girls and a boy, and they were like, all right, this is Liberty, this is Justice, and this is Charles,
and this is Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
No, I was so ready for them to just be like, and this is Frall.
That's crazy.
And I was like, what the fuck happened with Charles?
Yeah.
Why did you pick Charles?
Well, no, I kind of feel like the odd one out in my family because my younger sister's name is Corinne, which is, I think that's just a really pretty name.
Sounds like how like someone from the South would say Koran. Motherfuckers reading the Koran.
My older brother's name is Keegan, and I think Keegan isn't like a cool name necessarily, but it's like not very common. So because of that, I think it's kind of cool. Keegan.
Keegan.
And my name is Connor, which is like the whitest name of them all.
Were your parents those parents that name all their kids like with the same letter?
Keegan's with a K. So.
It still sounds like a C.
Yeah, K-K-K, I guess.
Oh, what?
Oh, boy.
Man. You
You
should.
sound like a racist deaf guy. I'm in the
I just saw a blackout sketch. I just saw a blackout sketch from UCB the other day,
I'm in the
and it was they were playing charades, and the one team was like, I feel like these teams are unfair because they couldn't get it, and then the next guy steps up, and it's a team of deaf people, and they're just signing the charades.
Was one of the answers KKK?
Something along those lines. I don't remember.
Classic.
So anyway, back to this baby. I was holding the baby, and
baby named Hazel. What's its last name? We want to out it.
Hazel.
Don't out it.
Hazel Witch.
Hazel. Yes, she was is that a skincare brand?
No, Witch Hazel is a plant or something.
Oh, well,
Right?
I use skincare Witch Hazel. Anyway,
We said Hazel Witch.
What is that? That dries out your pores?
yeah,
Gets the oil off?
Toner, yeah.
Toner.
But anyway, so I was holding this baby, and
Oh yeah, it's a toner.
all I realized was that babies can only say no, by just by crying.
Maybe difficult ones.
No, but like
Maybe
how do
she just didn't want to give you consent.
how do babies affirm anything to you? You know,
Smile.
Sign language.
they don't smile.
Yeah, they do. Babies smile all the time.
No,
You
babies
must
can't.
not be
No,
good with children.
babies don't smile,
They don't know how to
until
smile?
they're like 6 months old.
That's not true at all.
What? I swear that was
I saw
true.
a baby do this. Like a little
I've heard
smirk
that it's
before.
gas though. Like when they do
gas?
that, it's just babies passing gas, and parents often confuse that for a smile.
Well, they look happy.
Well, that's fair.
Have you ever farted angrily?
I feel like
Ah!
out of spite, I've been like, I'm gonna make this a loud one.
You a skunk? Like I'm gonna.
I'm a stinky boy.
All right,
Yeah.
so okay, this is a baby who passes gas and does not have emotion named Hazel.
No, I'm just
Shout out to the babysitter that watched Connor. Your baby's fucked.
But no, like that's
Dumb baby doesn't have emotions. Shout out to Fun, sponsored by. I don't know. Okay, continue.
no, but like that's what I'm saying is like babies can only like say no because like it'll just like if they could talk, all they would say is something's wrong, and then you'd be like, "What's wrong, baby? Like, are you hungry?" And then you like try to feed it, and then you try to like rock it,
But
try
then
to
you
put
could
it
be
to
like,
sleep.
"Do you want a cookie?" And they'd be like, "Yeah."
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah,
they
they
wouldn't
would.
say
I've
yes.
seen a baby do that before.
They'd be like, "Uh-huh."
I don't know.
I just for those of you that can't see, I just opened my mouth really wide, my eyes really wide, and I nodded when I said, "Uh-huh."
He looked like
And
a
the
baby.
baby's like, "What's my mom and his mom doing?" My mom's a babysitter.
The baby's homophobic. What are they doing, Tess?
Yeah, they just said no. We've already covered that.
Okay, fine.
The baby farted in disapproval.
What if that was,
Gazoon tight.
That's a good way to raise a very polite baby. Just bless it after everything it
If
does.
you see that person again, like next time they do sneeze or cough, just be like, instead of saying bless you because they don't like it, just be like, achoo. Hail Satan. Hail Satan. Achoo. What? Hail Satan. I
Hail
didn't
Satan.
want that. You got it.
No, I hope going off what Connor said. Whenever they get the hiccups, just hail Satan, hail Satan.
I just remembered. I do have a thing to talk about sneezing. I did like a little, small experiment of my own. We were taking a test last semester in some class, and this girl sneezed like really high pitched, like, Achoo! And it was super cute. And then like 4 dudes were like, bless you, like during the exam. And I was like, I bet if I sneezed, like a more masculine sneeze, I wouldn't get the same response. So I just go, Achoo! And nobody said bless you. And I was like, this is some sexist bullshit.
Did you do
anybody that sneezes like that, I am not going to confront. Don't make eye contact with him.
I didn't want to scream into the microphone.
You just sounded like an attention whore. Just being like, bless me too.
Achoo! No, I didn't want to scream into the microphone. It sounded like a real sneeze at the time.
Give us your best.
Okay,
no.
Hold on.
Give us your best sneeze right now. Yeah, that sounded fake.
Okay.
No, I liked it. What was I going to say? I don't remember.
We were talking about the little sneeze.
I don't remember. Fuck. I'll remember it in a
That's
second.
good.
Do you guys' dads sneeze really loud?
Yeah, one time I found my dad at a basketball game when I was like 8 years old because I could hear his sneeze.
That's so funny.
I was like, where the fuck did Dad go? And then I just hear, and I was just like, there he is.
Yeah, Dad
I
sneezes.
love it. That's
all
like
it
the
is.
manliest like sneeze ever, where it's just they just yell, they go, ah! Bless me. I had to sneeze.
It's like they just scream to like cover up their sneeze. Like,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like,
I'm not crying. You're crying.
You know what? Now that I think about it, it makes sense why people would say bless you, because if I saw somebody just scream like that, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, bless you. You've obviously got some demons in you.
Absolutely.
Because isn't that the history of it? People thought that there were like demons in you.
Got
or
some
something like that.
demons
Or
in
like
ya.
you were, I don't even know. Yeah, you're right.
Got some demons in you.
Do ya?
The Great Damon Show.
The
Great Dane Podcast. We're going
Did you guys, when you were little and your parents let you watch TV, did you ever watch Pimp My Ride?
I think a couple of times.
Oh my gosh, I was addicted.
Really?
If you've never seen this show, it was insane. They would like
Is that where they give women belt buckles?
No, they would steal.
That seems like it'd be on MTV.
They would like straight up like steal people's cars. They'd be like, "Where the fuck my car go?" And then they would literally like take it into the shop and they would just like pimp the shit out of it. Like they would put like aquariums into people's cars. They would like literally. I remember one time there was
That
this
does not
one
sound
car.
safe.
It was not safe. Practically not legal. Literally, one guy, he had like an oxygen mask that they installed into his car with 4 different flavors of oxygen. And
that's probably when the oxygen thing was like popping. You remember when that was thing when you put the oxygen in your nose and like
What? Never heard of this.
It's California, but it's like where you put oxygen in your nose like you're an old person, but it's like flavored oxygen. It's like a higher oxygen dose than like
exactly.
air.
Yeah.
Can't you die of too much oxygen?
Well, I don't know.
You can die from a lot of stuff.
That's
but
fair.
yeah, no, literally, it was like strawberry flavored, blueberry flavored, and I remember like 4, 5, 6-year-old me was like, I could fuck with some strawberry flavored oxygen.
This is like pre-vapes.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Breathing in strawberry
What?
milkshake?
I can have a milkshake to breathe?
That's amazing.
Yes, please. What if you could just like get? What if you just like get full from like breathing?
You mean like taking a deep breath?
No, like food.
I'm
Like-
famished. I think
satisfied. You know.
Yeah, I think it is kind of the same concept as eating. It's just a higher turnaround, you know? Like every time you inhale, as soon as you exhale, you want more.
I always thought the Willy Wonka bubblegum when she's like, a whole turkey roast, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, ooh, pumpkin pie. And I was wondering, like, did she just taste all those things, or was she filled? And,
I
like,
think
did
she-
she get
I think she was
calories
filled.
from it?
What? No, I think she just
there's
tasted
two
it.
options. Because
Okay.
that could solve world hunger.
True.
You just like start
No.
sprinkling them. But if they didn't do research enough, if you start sprinkling those and like throw them over like a pour, you know, whatever, like town, and everybody's like chewing on them. They're like, I'm not getting full. I'm just tasting what I'm missing out on. That would be the cruelest thing ever.
Well,
Be like, look what we have in America.
2 things. First of all, I love how you both in unison said pumpkin pie when it's blueberry pie because she turns into a fucking blueberry.
Yeah, she does.
Second of all, because she turns into a blueberry, that mass has to come from somewhere. So I'm thinking it does actually fill her up.
She says in the movie, I can feel it sliding down my throat.
Oh, I can feel it.
That's what she said. It's okay. She's like 60 now. We can joke about it.
That is true.
What was her name?
If you're ever
Violet.
going,
Violet Beauregard.
the trick is, that's some foreshadowing there.
What?
Her name's Violet.
Well, I mean,
they all Mike
I don't
TV, Violet Beauregard.
Oh, wait a second.
Augustus
See where this is
Gloop.
going.
Augustus Gloop.
Charlie
well, he just
in
fell
the
into-
Chocolate Factory.
That's
the title.
That's a fucking title.
Yeah, that's his last name. And the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, and Veruca Salt. Veruca? Veronica.
Veruca. I like Veruca.
I think it's Veruca.
Well, here's the thing.
I just like the idea that Charlie's last name is and the Chocolate Factory. Like the whole time he's growing up.
Mr. and the Chocolate Factory.
He's
like,
like, what do I do with my life? Charlie and the Chocolate
I
Factory.
feel like
last
this is
name
a
seems-
self-fulfilling prophecy.
That last name seems like he'd be in a porno. You could call me Mr. Chocolate Factory.
and the Chocolate Factory.
And the Chocolate Factory. Well, here's the trick. If you're ever going down on a lady, use that the Violet like bubblegum thing. Just like all of a sudden you go, cotton candy. Oh, a full turkey roast. Mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
They will not appreciate it.
Blueberry
pie, not pumpkin.
Nah, it's totally pumpkin pie. That was so funny.
Yeah, the original. Oh shit! She just died.
Oh, wait, the actress?
Yes.
Oh, you mean
From like the OG one.
Oh, I thought you meant the one
No,
with
no, no,
Johnny
no.
Depp. I was
She
like,
died.
Jesus, she
That's
must
not
have
even-
been like
that doesn't
our
count.
age.
No, she died less than a year ago.
Oh, shit.
I remember she was in an
Yo,
interview.
I watched A Beautiful Mind, that movie about the. I don't want to. Well, it's been out and it's based on a true story, so I'm about to spoil it.
One of my comedians has a great joke about
Dan and
this,
I
and he's
just talked
like,
about
"Guess who messed up the idea of calling it Look Who's Hawkin'?"
Oh, you mean The Theory of Everything?
Oh fuck yes,
Yeah.
I messed it up.
Dan and I actually on my podcast just talked about Beautiful Mind. We talked about schizophrenia.
Well, so
Anyway,
yeah, so
what
I was
Connor was
watching.
saying-
I was watching this movie,
Wonder if he
and
listened in.
at the end of the movie, it was like John Nash to this day lives with his wife in like Birmingham, Alabama, or like wherever the fuck they lived. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. This movie was like 15 years old at the time that I was watching it for the first time. So I was like, oh, I might as well like look up if that's still
Died in a
true,
car
because he's
crash.
probably yeah.
Dan and I just talked about this.
The day before I watched the movie, he died in a car crash. Like it shook me. I was like, oh my god, like what? And then I realized like I probably watched this movie because I probably saw that in the news, and then I probably just subliminally was like, hey, I should watch this movie. But it freaked me out. I was like, no way, I just watched a movie about a guy that died less than 24 hours ago.
One time, the very first time that I watched The Purge was the day that
Of
the
the
Purge
real
takes
Purge.
place in The Purge.
Oh, that's spooky.
Yeah, and it's like March 11th or something. And I remember watching it. I was like, "Today's March 11th."
That's terrifying.
Shit. I was like, "I'm gonna die tonight."
Yeah.
I was like 14, 15. I was like, "I'm dead. This is how it
I
ends."
love that was a good series. Movies.
I liked the
You-
concept. I thought the movies were all pretty bad.
I liked him.
I like the
I think they
trailers.
were fun to watch.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Okay.
like, "Wow, this is a beautiful masterpiece." I was like, "This is kind of fun."
That's fair.
Interesting concept.
And I mean, that's what they were going for. So, yeah, I thought it was definitely a creepy concept. Whenever I thought about it, it was scary. But watching it wasn't terrifying, I thought, which is weird because I'm super
Yeah, I was gonna say,
sensitive
don't you
to scary
hate like
movies.
terrifying movies?
I know, but for some reason that one wasn't terrible to me because it was like, I don't know. I don't like supernatural stuff like possession and stuff like that. And I also don't like gore, but that one wasn't really all that gory and there wasn't anything possession wise about it. So I could kind of handle it. But yeah, like, do you like scary movies?
I love scary movies. Big fan of scary
I'm
movies.
not-
Dane,
You like them, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're good. I liked Hereditary. That was good.
That I
Oh.
couldn't sleep for a week
did
after
you watch
watching
Us?
Not yet, but I'm planning to.
What about
because
Midsummer?
I watched Get Out and I loved Get Out. Midsummer, no. Dane this summer
classic.
saw it and left the theater halfway through and came home and told me about it.
And then I was like, I have to watch the other half. And then I went back.
Oh
the
my
next
God.
day I showed my ticket. I was like, listen, I left halfway through, but, I want to continue. And he's like, oh, it happens all the time. And he let me in.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, and I watched it, and I with the same ticket, and I watched the second half.
Jeez. But literally just you telling me the setup to the first half, I was like, I will never see this movie.
I watched it by myself at a theater at noon.
Jeez. What was
that was when
like?
you were by yourself the whole summer. You
That's
didn't come
true.
hang out with us.
Yeah, that is true.
What was
Pretty
that
lame.
like?
Oh, it was incredible.
Wow.
I had the whole theater to myself. I was alone.
Oh, but you like scary movies, so you enjoyed
yeah.
that. Oh my God, I wouldn't have gone in there.
The thing is, it wasn't too scary. It was just disturbing.
And that's what I can't take, though. I really empathize every time I see like anybody in pain on screen. I remember when I was a kid, I was watching 24, and Jack Bauer was like being tortured, and I was literally just like, "Oh, that hurts me to watch."
Sounds like you enjoyed it. Well, you were saying it, little Connor going, "Ooh, ooh, that hurts me to watch. That hurts me to watch. My name's Connor O'Leary.
Did you ask your babysitter if she would help you feel better?
Babysitter, why I feel funny in my pants?" She'd be like, "Sorry, I was just making out with your mom, making a baby named
Hazel.
Blue."
Blue. Let's find a new joke.
Dan, you have a
New
joke?
Yeah.
I don't know if I do. Let's see.
Or any just like weird thoughts you've been
There was
thinking?
a concept: does soda help reduce childhood obesity because the kids die in the end of it? That's an argument. That's a freakonomics right there.
well, Dane,
more soda actually decreases childhood obesity because if you're just going to be fat, just go in for it.
Well, Dane, we've actually talked about this before. Like a cure to childhood obesity is just time, because eventually they won't be children anymore.
Yeah, no, that's what I think I shared that with you before. It was basically just wait for them to die.
Yeah, like there's so many ways to fix all these world problems, and none of them
Just
are
wait.
good solutions. But like, I'm not gonna say Hitler was right with the whole genocide thing.
Shout out to this podcast sponsored by Hitler. Thank you, Connor.
All right, moving on. You guys ever look at a hat in your tag?
By the way, I just want to clarify. I did not. That's not where the childhood obesity joke was going. Was Connor? That was his
Dane
addition
held
to
up
my
a
joke.
whiteboard and it said, "Make a Hitler joke," and
I didn't.
and
That
then
was all
I
you,
motioned
baby.
with my hands. No,
That was all
that's,
you.
That's not cool.
Sponsored by.
Find it. Find the humor.
Find the comment.
Anyway, what were you saying about hats?
You guys ever wear a hat and you look at the tag inside and it says "Do not iron"?
No.
Because
Wear nice enough hats. For
no,
me.
it's literally like
I don't think
baseball.
my
No, no,
hats
no.
say
My hats
made in
have
China.
tags. Wait, is it a tag that like lets you know where the back of it is, like a T-shirt?
No, it's like literally like it's like a baseball cap, and it just literally just says like "Do not iron." And I'm like, who the fuck buys a baseball cap? And it's like the only way to make a flat bill.
I'll tell you who that was made.
Oh,
That was
it's all
made for my
wrinkly.
grandmother. My grandmother irons everything. She ironed my socks.
What?
It was like I looked like I was fully pressed. I looked like Flat Stanley. I was like, Grandma.
Who
She's like,
ironed socks?
I
Like,
know.
did it? I mean, maybe it's an aesthetic thing,
No,
or
she
like
ironed
it
everything.
felt nice.
I mean, it was
don't
great
know.
when every time I'd leave, she'd clean all my clothes and then she'd iron them.
Oh
She
my
was like,
God.
so sweet. And then like I'd have my bag and I'd be like, whoa.
Wait, are you an only grandchild as well?
No, there's others,
Okay.
but I don't know.
You're the only one worth ironing for,
I don't know if the other one's getting their socks on.
if you know what I mean. You get your socks ironed every time I go to Gammy's house, don't you?
My grandma would always wake us up in really creative ways, because like we would spend the weekends at my quote unquote dad's house, but he lived with my grandparents for a while, so we'd always go, and because they're really religious, we'd have to go to church every Sunday morning, and none of us wanted to wake up early, so she'd always wake us up, and one of the ways she would do it was she would just like plug our nose, and then we'd open our mouths to breathe, and then she'd put her fingers in our mouths. It fucking woke you up, but it was not pleasant.
Wait, what?
I was okay.
Okay, rewind.
Hold on.
Rewind.
Okay, you said you started off this story.
When your uncle put his cock in your butt when you were asleep? Like, what?
Hey, it woke
you
you up.
started this
You're
off
ready
being
for
like,
church.
No. You were like, oh, Grandma used to wake us up in so creative ways. Like,
Yeah.
and I was like expecting.
That's not creative.
I was
No,
expecting
that was
her
the
to
weirdest
like.
one.
I was expecting her to like play like funny music or like wake up with candy in your bed,
Oh, no,
not
she would
fucking deep throat you with her fingers.
know, with her, like,
she would
1-inch
like
nails.
sing and do all types of stuff.
Dude, this is a witch you're
that's like
talking about. This is a
cruelty.
Hansel and
No,
Gretel.
that's not cruel. Your grandmas didn't do that?
No,
my grandma did not put her nasty racism hands in my back of my throat.
My grandma didn't try to tickle my uvula.
By the way,
touch
my
your
grandma's
tongue.
not racist. I'm talking about the grandmother of the grandson that said Hitler had some good things. to
I didn't
say.
say that.
We're gonna
I
rewind
said-
it.
Okay.
Listen, Nazi followers of this podcast. Your leader, Connor O'Leary.
I'm just saying.
You could stop saying that. Connor,
This
If
is,
you would like
this
to
brings
not
us to a
racism,
classic
this
segment.
is only like episode 2, and I'm so worried about you. I've been learning so much about you, and I'm genuinely worried about your upbringing.
For comedic,
brings us-
non-racist humor,
This
go
brings
to the
us-
Great Dane Podcast.
This brings us to our first ever traditional segment on Find the Humor of He Didn't Find That Humor, which is a little thing that we do whenever you try to go down a rabbit hole and then you just find out, oop, I'm supporting Hitler.
And the first award goes to Connor.
Thank you. I will take it. We'll keep a running total as the podcast goes on of who didn't find the humor. So that's 1 point to me, and we'll just keep that going.
Guys, one time I bought a DVD player, and instead of an instructional packet, it sent me an instructional DVD. And I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to figure out how to use this?
Wait, you bought a...
I bought a DVD player, and instead of it a
okay.
packet,
Yeah.
they gave me an instructional DVD. And I, being the bitch that I was, tried to read the DVD.
Either that, or they were just so fucking confident that it was so easy to set up. They're like, you just plug it in, and you pop in this DVD, and then the rest of the setup you can do after that. But that is kind of counterintuitive.
It's true. It really is true.
It's kind of like I want to write a book for dyslexic kids.
That has words
Called
that-
Peef,
words like
Help
jumbled
Me.
up.
No, it's
Queef, help me.
it's a
Ezad
book.
for you.
It's a book for dyslexic kids, and all the words are spelled incorrect. But like, you know how like you have the first letter and the last letter, and you can jumble up all the middle ones, and like you can still read that word.
Yeah.
Kerf de Bop.
It would basically be
By
a
Connor
book
Fingar.
of that. And then dyslexic kids would like fly through, and they'll be like, I don't know how I did that.
What
I'm
if,
usually the worst reader in my grade. I
What
just
if-
flew through it.
what if the first and last letters get mixed up for the dyslexic kids?
I didn't think about that.
It's a good Shark Tank idea.
And then Mark Cuban will be like, what if the first and the last letters get mixed up? And you'll be like, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, and then
And
Mr.
you're like, I'm
Wonderful's
going to glue them to the
I'm
page.
dyslexic. No, it would be a joke book, obviously. Like,
But no, that's a good thing. It's a good joke book to make fun of dyslexic children.
well, I remember watching Disney Channel as a kid, and Bella Thorne. Like they always tried to make the Disney
I got
stars.
a Twitter to see her titties.
They always tried to make the Disney stars seem like they had like such troubled lives. Bella
is recent, by the
Thorne
way.
was like the poster child for dyslexia. Nick Jonas was the poster child for diabetes, and like
Does he have
they
diabetes?
made
He sings like it.
No,
but they made like these PSA commercials where they were like really super emotional, crying about like their mental and physical disorders, and it was like, bitch, you have dyslexia, but you're famous and you have tons
Were
of
they
money
like
as a
the-
17-year-old. I
they-
don't
Sponsored
have
by
sympathy.
If You're Famous, Don't Be Dyslexic. Connor O'Leary.
No, I'm just
running
saying
for
like
Congress in
that's not a huge
2049.
problem. Like,
Connor, could we please get this quote that you said in 2020? Famous people are not allowed to be dyslexic.
famous people can't have problems.
no, they can have
I'm
problems,
Connor O'Leary.
but
Good
just
night.
check yourself.
Wait
you
a
know?
second, we
like,
have more information coming in. What about said about Hitler?
just to clarify, I condone. Wait, does condone mean dislike?
No.
No, that's like a slap on the hand. Like, don't do it again.
I think condone is a positive.
And
Like I allow it. Doesn't that what condone means?
Yeah. But
I
if
would
you,
just like it
don't
to be
condone
known
something.
that I do not condone. Wait, I'm not going to use that word because I don't know what it means.
You do not
I
condone
would like
Hitler.
it to be known that I'm not a big fan of the H-boy, nor dyslexia. Wait, no. It's okay if you have dyslexia is what I
saying
meant to
Hitler
say.
was dyslexic?
Look for it.
He was an artist. Did you know that?
Look for it. Find
Isn't
it.
that interesting? He was an artist before he became chancellor.
Find it.
I'm not making a joke. I'm making conversation. That's
No,
fascinating.
I had no idea, actually.
Yeah,
Was
like he has artwork that you can Google.
Did you
There's
buy
other
it?
painters though.
Yeah, I was going to say, out of all of the people that I have in my home, he would probably rank up there probably about last.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when people do that, it's like, well, he did this one. He did do this. Now it's kind of cool.
Well, no, I mean like I'm not
killed
trying to
everyone.
I'm not trying to humanize him in any way. I'm saying like that's interesting.
I would personally really like to move on from Hitler.
All in favor.
All right, Matt, you got any jokes? It's your turn.
Oh, yeah. You guys ever eat a tomato and you're just like, what the fuck?
No, I
my
don't
whole
like
joke.
tomatoes.
That's it. That's all I had for you, Dane.
I've had a tomato. I remember my grandma told me that when she was a kid, she would eat a tomato for lunch.
You ever have like grandparents that would like salt tomatoes and they're just like freaking monsters because they just like
Eat
have a
'em?
whole ass tomato and
What?
they salt it and they eat it like an apple and you're like, you're gonna die soon.
I'll cut it up and put a little cheese
I've
on
never
it.
seen that before.
That's crazy. I've not seen that.
You'll put
I've
cheese
seen-
on it. You know what I'll do?
Maybe
I'll
caprese
cut it up.
salad.
I'll put some lettuce on top of it and then
Bless
a
you.
whole piece of chicken and then buns on either side and then I'll eat it
That sounds
at
like a
Chick-fil-A.
sandwich. Yeah, that sounds like a sandwich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it though. You ever get tomato juice on yourself?
Probably.
That's good.
I've eaten a pizza.
Oh, same.
That I don't know. I'm not a fan of tomatoes all that much,
You're not a
but
fan
I do like ketchup, and I was always wondering why I like ketchup. It's because it's just tomato juice and sugar. That's what's in ketchup. I always thought it was like just tomato paste, and that was it. But no, sugar makes everything better.
There's more sugar in a serving of ketchup than there is in a serving of vanilla ice cream.
No way.
Say
True
that
story.
again?
There's
I
more
believe
sugar
that.
in a serving of ketchup than there is in a serving of vanilla ice cream.
That's insane.
I eat so much ketchup. I'm a sauce king. I have like for each chicken nugget at McDonald's, I'll use 1 packet of ketchup.
That's me, but with barbecue
Jesus.
sauce.
I eat 20 packets of ketchup for 20 nuggets.
Is ketchup curing childhood obesity?
Definitely.
A little bit.
No, that's insane. I don't like it that much.
You don't do much sauce, do
Dude,
you?
I could
No.
literally put barbecue sauce on anything and be happy.
Barbecue sauce is good.
What
I'll do is I'll just have it rolled
I
in
know.
barbecue sauce and then I dip it in
Yeah.
ranch.
Someone who doesn't
Double
like
sauce.
sauces
Double
is
sauce.
Duncan. He is like very anti-sauce. We went to B-Dubs one time, and he got like dry rub wings. It was
Yeah, I
was
call
weird.
it
I'd never seen that
anthrax
before.
because I went
Oh
there
my
with him too.
God.
What he'll do is
he
he'll
had
get a
like
glass of
5
water.
glasses of water because it was so dry.
No, because he'll sip it. He's making sauce in his mouth.
Yeah.
And so it's literally like, dude, just get the because he gets like the powder, the powder, not the actual sauce. And so he'll get the powder ones. And he'll do it and be like, and then he'll like then get water. And I'm like, you're making sauce in your mouth. Just get the fucking sauce. He's like, no, I
Yeah.
like it like this.
No, but Dane
Mouth
really
sauce.
likes sauces. I worked at a restaurant this summer, and me and Dane lived together this summer, and I would just be at work, and then I would get a text probably like 2 or 3 times a week that just said, "Can I have some blueberry goo wings?"
Oh my god, there's
And-
it was
and extra
blueberry
ranch.
barbecue.
Yeah,
Blueberry- oh
we
my
had
God.
wings, which was blueberry
I would
barbecue
drink it.
wings, and Dane just like
would take a
absolutely
little
loved
shot
the
of it.
stuff.
He's
And
like-
but not only that, so I'd get him a pound of wings because they were half off for employees, so I'd buy them for him. I'd get him a pound of wings in the blueberry goo, and then like 2 cups of ranch. And I would just take it home, and we would just like eat dinner together.
Half of the meal was sauce. It was literally like a fucking soup.
Oh my god!
It was so good.
I tried it. I wasn't a fan of the blueberry sauce
Oh
with
my God.
wings.
Well, it's not just the
kinda
blueberry
weird.
sauce. It's that it was honey barbecue rolled. Then on the side I would get blueberry goo, and then I would get a big like almost like a KFC like mashed potato like cup of ranch, and then I just go, and I dip them all, and then I eat them.
It's a shame. Those were some good wings. Yeah, that restaurant ended up closing down, so I lost my job, and super sad. I mean, I hated working there, but like freaking awesome wings. Such a tragedy. Sounds like your syrup ASMR video.
Sounds like what your grandma did to your throat. I like to think she did it for a whole minute before you woke up. You're like, And then finally she's like, what the fuck?
Still asleep.
No, I seriously, when you told that story, I was going to make the joke being like, oh, would she wake you up by sucking your toes? I was going to make that joke, and I was like, no, this is going to be like a sweet story about like...
She had a song to accompany
this. She literally fucking
this.
like throat raped you.
The song was...
putting my fingers in your throat. Fingers in your throat, pretending it's a cock. La, la, la,
No, so there was a song.
You know, like drag... she like could have made you like gag, throw up all over yourself.
Let me re-explain. She would say,
let me put my fingers in your mouth right now.
No.
She would say, knock on the door, and she'd knock on your forehead, peek in, and then she'd open your eyelid,
I'd be pissed.
and then she'd say, open the hatch, and then she'd plug your nose, and then she'd say, walk in, and then she'd like just put her fingers like just to the tip of your tongue, and then like that was enough to be like, yeah, grandma, you weirdo. So yeah, like we knew it was weird, but she wasn't like kinky about it.
Your grandma stuck her fingers in your throat, Connor. Except that you were touched.
Look, all she had to do was pick one different orifice, and it went from innocent to like booty hole. You know,
just because I'm singing a song doesn't make what I did okay.
Pull
I think
out
it was
my
fine.
cock. Wiener. Pull.
open your legs.
Wiener. Put my cock and balls in your mouth. Grandma.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I think that just about wraps up.
We need to end it
this
on that.
episode. Yeah.
Cock and balls
Classic.
and Hitler. Too much.
So just to revisit the Find the Humor scoreboard, Connor has not found the humor once. Matt still king, sitting at 0.
I always find the humor.
Yes, and but that's it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in to Find the Humor. Dane, do you have anything else you want to plug other than your podcast?
Yeah, okay. So I have 3 Instagrams now. I just made another one. So the first one you can follow my personal, which is Dane Alexander. That's Lyon. Don't spell it like the fucking cat. The next one is Dane Lion Art. And then you can see weird drawings. And then the last one is I just got it, which was Great Dane Podcast. And you can follow me there.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to talk about Connor getting throat fucked by his grandma's hand.
And as we say at the end of every episode of Find the Humor, Matt, you want to take this one?
Open the
Fine.
door.
Bye.
This has been Find the Humor with Matt Mina and Connor O'Leary.